Hi guys, Soy Rebel, and I thought I'd start my first review on a certain episode of a cartoon that's really abysmal. Ren Seeks Help. This episode is so infamous. Ever since people like Mr. Enter, it's become so infamous and so hated by everybody. But I kind of have mixed feelings for this episode, really. Now keep in mind, it's just my opinion, okay? So don't take this too personally. So anyway, let's get on with Ren Seeks Help. So it starts with Stimpy crying on the bed for over 3 minutes. Yeah, not as worse as SpongeBob's crying, because Ren did something so horrible to Stimpy. Of course, Ren is feeling extremely guilty for what he did, and he actually wants to sort things out by seeking help, of course, as the name of the episode says. Of course, Stimpy is like, "Don't do it for me, do it for yourself!" So Ren does just that, and he goes to seek help from a psychiatrist known as Dr. Mr. Horse. So he basically tells him what a horrible person he is, and of course the way to learn how he's so terrible is by going back to the day he was born, which is really kind of disturbing to see his birth, which, okay, I don't think it's that disturbing, but it's pretty gross. And then of course he explains that because he felt pain by being slapped by the doctor when he was born, he wants to inflict the pain on others. So we first see him pull the legs off a caterpillar, one by one, and it goes on while we hear the caterpillar scream in agony. And then, of course, the next scene, we see him licking a tick with his tongue, which has a stinger for some reason. I don't know, it's just to show that he's trying to get pain on him. Next scene, he burns some ants with firecrackers and everything. And then next he finds a frog, really, and then he starts outright torturing the frog. First by shoving fireworks up its ass, waiting for it to explode, then riding a tricycle on the frog against a wall, making his guts and intestines fly out, and then hooking some jumper cable balls to the frog while in a car and electrocutes him in the process, and even setting him on fire because of that. He then decides to finish the frog off, which of course the frog begs him to do so, but seeing that he wants Ren to end him, he refuses because he wants him to live on in more pain. So that night, the frog tries to get him to, kill him by, trying to get his attention, but of course Ren just ignores him. And then the next day, when he comes home from school, he gets stopped by his father, who is a priest, but I'm not going to go into detail, because again, it doesn't follow logic, okay? So, of course, his parents are really disappointed in what he's done to the frog, but since what he's done is done, the only thing he can do is, as the frog's been telling him, finish him off. So they give him a gun, but the mother takes it away and gives him a chainsaw, so they watch him try to finish the frog off, and of course they start making out in the process. Ugh. Of course, Ren is only just fiddling around with the chainsaw and decides to throw the frog out, just showing that he still wanted to live on in more pain, despite the frog still begging for him to kill him. So after that, he then gets back to present day when he starts to tell Mr. Horse what he did to Stimpy, but the thing is, we don't get to hear it. I mean, he just whispers, but we don't hear actual words coming out of his mouth. So after explaining what he did, Mr. Horse then declares that Ren is just crazy and he should be locked up for how he is. Despite Ren saying that he came for help, and yeah, but of course, after being questioned what he is, he says that he's not a psychologist but a horse. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And then he starts beating the living crap out of Ren, and of course Ren fights back like a cat, which outright when he takes a gun and he beats Mr. Horse to death, and then of course some animal control people come, and then he bites off one of their hands and swallows it grotesquely, and then gets wrangled up in the process. And then after he's taken away, the frog appears, and then he tries to shoot himself with the gun, which actually turns out to be a bang gun. And then the episode ends in a Looney Tunes style sort of way, like, that's all folks. And that's the episode. So, I kind of like this episode in a way. I know it's kind of dark, but I'm used to this kind of stuff, okay? If I started watching shows like Family Guy, I probably would have liked it. But I don't really mind this episode, and it's actually the episode I actually watched more than the others. Yeah, and I'm not going to review the others, I'm only just reviewing this one. Of course, this episode was enough to qualify it to be the worst cartoon of all time, as many people say. But, I have mixed feelings for it, and I wouldn't mind watching the episode again and again if I wanted to. And if you do, and if you want to see this episode, but be warned, it is quite disturbing, this episode, so it's just a warning. And if you don't like it, just don't watch it. And thanks a lot, and please subscribe. Thank you very much.